You want to know what's going on in your dirt sports world? Whether it's four wheels, two wheels, Dirt Sports World's got you covered. From the dirt to the dunes, we bring you the latest action in racing, to lifestyle, the newest parts, the newest vehicles, and what the superstars of off-road are up to. Check out our social media for up-to-date information on Instagram, Facebook, Dirt Sports World, and more in depth. And check out the magazine at www.dirtsportsworld.com. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Dirt Sports World, for some great videos. So make sure to follow us and come get dirty with us.
I told y'all, we got the game on lock. Crank Lucas the rap deucer. Team Real Racing. Y'all already know we won. Off-road racing, quick as in the desert. To the finish line, passing through the checkers. It's Team Real, we just much better. When we on the track, we apply that pressure. People lined up screaming from the sideline. When they see the UT class fly by, or they see me in the truck doing drive-by, in the Parker Dam or in the Baja. Every time you see me rolling through inside a buggy, and I'm counting up the money, cause I came to multiply it. Put your 1200 horsepower in the motor, you don't really wanna race me, I dare you to try it. Started up the engine, now my wheels on fire. Zooming through the track while I'm burning up the rubber. Better get them slow waves out of my water. You don't wanna see the shark or there's a crusher. It's Team Real, y'all know what the biz. Crank Lucas and I'm spinning on the wheel. Doing 160 past you so fast when the wind hits your body, get the chills. Telling everybody they can eat my dust, but I guarantee you won't beat my best. Pop a champagne when I'm at the finish line and I'm holding up the trophy and I beat my chest. What first place look like it's me? I don't do twos and I never met a three. People know the Team Real logo when I'm running through the desert and I'm running all through the streets. Never have to cap my race game tight. My vehicles can go all night. Foot up on the gas, I can never break right because I'm allergic to all the red lights. Team Real, Team Real. Everybody thinking that they faster till they gotta race. Team Real, Team Real. All about the speed and you can see it all up in my face. Team Real, Team Real. Real scared money don't make no money. It's Team Real, Team Real. Hit the motor rumble and the tires burning from the rubble. Team Real, Team Real. Everybody thinking that they faster till they gotta race. Team Real, Team Real. All about the speed and you can see it all up in my face. Team Real, Team Real. Real scared money don't make no money. It's Team Real, Team Real. Hit the motor rumble and the tires burning from the rubble.
so much to look forward to, including crowning our very first short course National Series World Champion. First up, it's the three-time king starting off on top. It's win 17 for Connor Barry. Barry getting quite comfortable in victory lane. First-time winner in the iRacing Short Course National Series. Take a bow, Drake Mittag. Matt Adams is winner 22. He does it in the signature Propellers Long Beach Surfside Showdown. Keaton Swain's not going to stand down. To the line, a photo finish.
He finally got it. Swain, pop the champagne, baby.
And while Luke Canuck's yet to taste success in 2025, it's going to be a taste that's oh so sweet. Her first win in the National Series through Calamity Corner. Crystal King gets it done.
All right, here we go.
Welcome down to the Glen, ladies and gentlemen. We're set for round number 3 of the iRacing Short Course Pro 2 National Series. And after switching dirt track for tarmac for the one and only time this season, there's a prospect of a bit of a shaken up grid from what we've seen in the opening couple of rounds. Delighted to have your company here on Race Spot TV. My name is Darren Thacker, up here in the booth with Dave Arnold, who's been here all season long. And Dave, bit of a change of scenery tonight for the drivers, isn't it? Do we expect it's going to change up the order too much tonight?
Oh, I'm going to say the guys that have a little bit of road course. We got some drivers that do some road racing out here, but these Pro 2s, it's a whole nother animal too. So some of the drivers may be able to figure them out a little bit faster than others. I think the street guys, that have done it might just have that little bit of an advantage. So we kicked it off at Firebird October 1st, Park River, and then from the dirt to the Glen, Watkins Glen, street racing. Then we go off to Wild West Motorsports October 22nd, followed by the finishing up in Crane International Raceway. So you can see that Watkins Glen just doesn't, one of these things doesn't quite like the others. But we've done Long Beach. We did the Pro 4s. We haven't done with Pro 2s, really have seen. So I'm kind of excited about this, Dara.
Yeah, a really condensed season as well, of course. All races happening in October, 5-round event, but you're absolutely right. But one is not like the others, and Watkins Glen is going to be the sore thumb that sticks out, I think, in the season. But as we come into this race, points look very close towards the top. Drake Mittag holds that championship lead by just a solitary point ahead of Keaton Swain. They're on 190 and 189. Connor Barry and Josh Edmondson are right in behind, and they look like the four that are going to be battling over the next 3 weeks, unless the likes of Sean Winkler and Tyson Miller in 5th and 6th can close that gap. They've then got a bit of a gap back to Matthew Lind in P7. Rick Huseman is in P8 with Zachary Drapkin and Tad Countryman in 9th and 10th, tied on points. We'll see if anybody can get a slight advantage there coming through tonight. Of course, as has always been the case this season, 10-minute qualifying session to set the grid. Top 16 will automatically qualify for the main event, and then of course we will have our last chance qualifier races to come. 10 laps will be the length of the feature races here tonight, compared to 12 laps it was last week, and then it'll be 4 laps each for our last chance qualifier race. But trucks, a bit of a different line through turn 1, don't they? We're seeing it already, but you've got to get a good lap on the board early on, don't you? It's not a long qualifying session.
Yeah, I've just seen it going over the curves, over the apron area, going on way outside. Not something to do with normal, we call it a road course racer, because suspension just doesn't like that stuff. But these things are designed for it. And I can see he's trying to use, large sweeping, hitting those apexes, trying not to scrub speed off. I mean, they can't get these things sideways like they're used to. When they do, it could go really bad. There's a little bit of a slide right there, but they're going to lay a lot of rubber down. I expect a lot of blue groove to be laid down for sure. We think they do it on the dirt. Wait till you see this asphalt, see some off-road tires.
Yeah, we often say at Watkins Glen, if you're in, something like a GT car that coming through the bus stop chicane, you don't want to take too much curb because it can really bounce you away. But in these cars with these suspensions, you're going to be pretty fine to ride that curb as much as you want. You're just going to have to be careful of that slide on the exit. Sean Winkler through the final corner, just trying to power steer it through. Very nicely done, keeping it out of the barrier, and he's only 42 thousandths off the provisional pole time at the moment. Well inside the top 16 where he'd expect to be. Is there an improvement this time by? Doesn't look like it. But the 24.829 is the benchmark at the moment. And at the moment, you even have to be within a second of that time to be in the top 16. But I think we're going to be seeing a few more drivers improve because there's still a lot of times left to go, especially from Christian Noble through the final.
Yeah, I was getting that boozy jerky machine around the track, and I'm, really noticing, I'm going to they're taking a liberal look at racing apexes that you would normally in a GT car. You can see that quite a bit, looking like he's slowing down a little bit there. We're going to go back on board with Tyson Miller, the Terminator, out there. We'll see how he's going to do comparing up here. Connor Berry so far with the fast time. Edmondson, Winkler, and Canup, followed by 5th place. We're watching Miller.
We are indeed. He's about a third of a second off the pole time at the moment, but looking to improve as he makes his way around the carousel. Of course, we're using the club layout here this evening of Watkins Glen, so it's even further around as we skip out the toe and the heel, well, the boot really, aren't we? And then we've got the final 2 corners to come up for the number 90. He will come through. I mean, it's difficult, I think, at this stage because in these cars particularly and with these the way that they drive, I think the final 2 corners here at Watkins are going to be a little bit tricky, aren't they? Because you are having to power slide the car through these corners, but the wall's quite close on that exit. It's so easy to get wrong, and if you're looking for that extra 100th and 1000th as we expect from the drivers with how close it is at the top, it could be tricky to judge it correctly. Tyson Miller across the line didn't improve that time by, and we're seeing that theme. Any drivers able to improve after their opening runs?
Yeah, I'm going to say that wall meets that ground in a sharp 90 degrees. It's not like some of our racetracks, like Firebird, where they come out of turn 1, they'll swope up, bank off the wall a little bit just to get that kind of extra speed up there. It's not going to go well if you do that here at the Glen. That's for sure. Those, some call them Jersey barriers back east. I don't know where they're at. We refer to them as Jersey barriers out here on the West Coast. We call them the K-rails. They're not too friendly.
They're not at all, are they? And again, a bit of a change from what we've seen on dirt tracks in the last couple of weeks. Only a few drivers left to set one of their laps because they have 4 laps each in this qualifying session. 10 minutes to set those laps, but only the 4 flying laps that they are able to complete. So not too many more drivers, I think, that have many laps left on their quota. Tad Countryman is one of them, though, and he will come through the carousel once again. 2 minutes 45 left on the clock. So as long as you're starting your penultimate lap by now, you're going to be grand to complete the rest of your laps. So far wide as we expect from these cars. It's going to be fun, I think, when we get to the races and we just see quite how far the entire field goes off the road in some of these corners. Drake Mittag, there's your championship leader. We've been waiting for his time to pop up. He's gone into P6, maybe not exactly where he would want to be, but safely through. Not having to think about last chance qualifiers for the time being at least. Here comes Tad Countryman up to the line. Is there any improvement? Is there any improvement on the position for the 26? Doesn't appear so. Looks like it could be a similar time. Will stay P4. Slight improvement on the lap time, but no improvement in terms of position. Edmondson, he's the closest rival to Connor Barry at the moment. Can he find that extra half a tenth?
Yeah, Edmondson, he really prefers the Pro 2s. He does really well. He's been a little bit struggling, but he's starting to figure it out. And I know he's been working on these road courses quite a bit, too. And I can tell Connor Berry has, because this is not something you just go jump in. If you've been riding in your dirt whole life, it takes a little bit of adjustment to get these lines down. And, man, talk about a wide berth he's taking right there. But one guy to keep an eye out, Drake Mittag, of course, he had the opening salvo in round number 1 when he took the overall win coming out of that one. And it took Connor Berry a little bit last week to finally get that monkey off his back. So I have a feeling, look at that. Edmondson, top time right there, knocking Berry down. But I know Berry has been putting his time in there. Let's see if Drake Mittag can better it as we're coming up here, as the time's clicking down. And he's over 125, so did not better that one.
Yeah, didn't look particularly pleased about it either, did he? Head in hand for a P6, which is, certainly better than I could be doing anyway. So he's still going to be pretty pleased, I'm sure, about getting through comfortably. But he is going to have to be considerate of the fact that Josh Edmondson and Connor Barry are ahead of him. He obviously has that 1 point advantage over Keaton Swain coming into this race, but Keaton is nowhere to be seen relatively in terms of that top 16. Connor Barry is third in the championship and only 5 points back, so being in P2 will concern him. And of course, Josh Edmondson comes into this race P4 in the championship, but looks like he's going to be lining up for our first feature race on pole. Qualifying is ticking down. We have I think 2 drivers, maybe 3, who could finish their lap times, but no one really looks like they are improving towards the end. So that looks like it will be that. And to have, a tenth and a half of an advantage for pole, that's a handy gap to have for Josh Edmondson in his back pocket, and I'm sure will give him quite a bit of confidence. Ray Bedoin as well is going to be very happy to get into that top 16. Only about 14 thousandths clear in P16, but he will be through and won't have to worry about our last chance qualifier races. 4 laps, 2 of them, of course, 4 laps in length. And the first one is going to be coming up pretty soon indeed. Love how fast these races are. They're short, they're sharp, and they really, force the drivers to go for moves very early indeed, don't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're not up there, and of course, there is no chance after you've coming out of this LCQ heat. I mean, there's really, you're going to be on the sideline watching. We've already had the 16. The one I feel the worst for is the guy qualified 17th. Rick Huseman there. It's just like it was that close to getting in there where you didn't have to fight your way through these LCQs into the main event.
And you just know that he's going to be...
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, well, exactly. No, I was just saying, that they're going to be the most animated people after qualifying, the ones that just miss out on that top 16, because they know that they have to go through the pain of going through this last chance qualifier race, and of course nothing is going to be guaranteed. 8 cars on the grid, top 2 will progress through, which is so tricky, particularly if you start 4th or 5th, because you want to feel like you're in with a good chance very early on and have to make that move as we work our way into the opening lap or 2 of this race. Drivers getting ready. Some nice VR headsets going on there. I always love seeing drivers with their VR headsets and then they're looking into nothing really. Must look really funny in a room with nobody there. But also good product placement on that hat. 199, you can see it pretty clearly. It's good work.
Oh, yeah. I always think that Travis Pastrana, baby. I love that 199 team there. And Teal looking good. Kind of looks like he's getting into like a fighter pilot there.
He does. It's a very wide brim, that VR headset. Yeah. I like the look of it. We have got a chance to interview, of course, our pole sitter really quickly before we get into qualifying. Josh Edmondson is here with us. Josh, give us a quick word. I'm really sorry, Josh. Completely lost in my mind. How was that lap for you? It looked like a really, really good lap time. Are you happy with how it went?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Getting pole position's always good there, and yeah, it was a really solid lap. I didn't really make any mistakes and kept it smooth, so yeah, really happy to hit that pole lap.
Is it a target to get through to turn 1 at on lap 1? Is that where you're going to be looking to keep clear, or is it the bus stop that you think is going to be the important one to be ahead by?
Bus stop for sure. Hopefully a lot of people know that it's not really a good place to make a pass. I think it just compromises everybody, so we'll see though. I think people are going to send it, so we'll just have to be defensive maybe and play smart.
Yeah, sounds good. All the best, Josh. We'll like to speak to you after race number 1, but good luck and hope you get away from pole cleanly.
Thanks, guys.
Josh Emerson there, of course, who I was complimenting on the VR headset very nicely before we got a word from him. But this is the grid for our opening last chance qualifier race. Rick Huseman will go from pole ahead of Zachary Drapkin on the front row. David Weingartner and Scott Marrick will be on row number 2, looking to try and get into that top 2 and progress. Adam McAfee will start P5 in the 18 ahead of the 17 of Trenton Briley. And then it's just a case of the final row. Matt Lass and Solomon Bershinger, who have a lot of work to do, quite frankly, to get through in this last chance qualifier race. But 8 cars on the grid means that they know exactly who they're racing. It's very clear. The maths is pretty obvious. Top 2 progress. Everybody else will have an early end to their evening. But it's not long before we see the pace truck come into the pit lane and we get these 4 laps of Watkins Glen underway. And we will see which 2 drivers will be the next 2. The 17th and 18th to join our 16 already through from qualifying in the feature races. Rick Huseman, Zachary Drapkin on the front row. Who can get the advantage down in towards turn number 1? We're waiting for the green flag to fly here, but there it goes. Scott Marek, Zachary Drapkin. Who can get the best launch? Say Rick Huseman, of course, off the pole. Looks like Drapkin will have a good launch on the outside line. Can Huseman send it down the inside? Doesn't really look like it at all. Trenton Briley coming around his outside as they make their way down in towards turn 1, and Zachary Drapkin has an easy run through the opening turn. Yes, he does. It looks like Huseman's going to be under pressure already. Can Briley get the run towards the bus stop?
Yeah, that's the question right there. You can see a great run, though, from Drapkin. Briley really turning the pressure up on Huseman, right on his rear. And you can see it's almost that point where he's going to brake. You got to kind of worry about that, too. The braking points. You know, sometimes you see these drivers to just shoot up outside, try to do a little slingshot move, which may really come off well because that is a road racing maneuver, something we don't see too often in off-road racing.
Yeah, and you can just about see Matt Lass and Solomon Bershinger going through the bus stop chicane for the first time, nearly side by side, and that's not going to help them out towards in their quest to get towards the top two. Briley just about going to hold on from David Weingartner. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact as they make their way through the carousel. There's a bit of a risk here if they battle too hard, but Huseman and Drapkin run away with this early.
Yeah, I think everybody's not taking as wide as lines as we saw during that qualifying, kind of keeping it tight, trying to protect those positions. You don't want to open those doors up too much because someone's going to put their foot in it. Now you can see a little bit of touch. There's Weingartner on Briley, gets a little bit of an alligator tail going there, but able to recover. But Weingartner's going to get right around Briley. I think that kind of threw him off his pace and lost the momentum.
Yeah, and you can just about see David there. Now he has to focus in on trying to get after Rick Huseman and Zachary Drapkin. That is the goal. Normally get a nice prize and a trophy for P3, not in these last chance qualifier races. He's got 3 laps to try and close that gap. Rick Huseman going very wide through the opening corner in his quest to try and keep close to Zachary Drapkin, but that second, I should say that gap is about a second between Huseman and Weingartner, and that is the important gap to keep an eye on. Lots of relatively long straights here at Watkins Glen, and I think that's going to be one of the main differences, isn't it, between the dirt tracks and these road courses, or Watkins Glen particularly. There aren't too many corners to make up these positions, but Adam McAfee and Trenton Briley are going to try and fight through the bus stop chicane. You don't see this too often, but Briley's just about going to hold on. Can't afford to let Adam McAfee pass at all.
Well, pretty much halfway through this one, you're going to start making some moves right here. These are quick laps. You can see Weingartner's back there. He's just below the green line. That means it's going to be a tough day if you can't get up to Rick Huseman right now. Rick and Zachary Drapkin, of course, in qualifying positions. We're going to go on board now. We can get a good sight of Adam McAfee as he tries to hunt down Trenton Briley there, looking for a little daylight. But I'll tell you, these speeds, it's just like there's no place for these trucks really, slow down enough where they rotate or move around. It's more of a, one-liner. You got to really get out there and establish.
Yeah, and Adam's got a couple of moves to make, isn't he? He's got to get through on Trenton Briley and then hope that he can gain him. And he's a couple of seconds off, 2 laps to do it. It feels like a bit of a long shot from here, but anything is possible, particularly with Drapkin and Huseman right together. They can't afford to trip over each other at the moment, but the risk for Huseman here is if he doesn't try and go past Drapkin, he could be overtaken by David Weingartner because they have all closed up. The gap was 1.5 seconds between the top 3, 1 lap ago. It's now down to just half a second, covering all 3 of them, and there is a real race on now between Huseman and Weingartner, and maybe even Drapkin as well, for who goes through in this race. And they could be even side by side for the lead, I think, up in front. That gap is very, very minimal, but they're not quite side by side. They're running nose to tail, though, as they work their way through the bus stop. But look at Weingartner right on the tail, and this is a horrible position for Huseman to be in.
Oh, definitely. You can see by a little contact from the rear. You got to watch that so he doesn't spin him out there. A little contact's okay, side door to door, a little bump from behind, but don't want to change the attitude. So you can see that Weingartner's trying just to stay right on that edge, hoping that Huseman will make a mistake, capitalize it. But I'll tell you, Huseman's elbow is going to get about 10 feet wide when they come around. And he's trying to get there, and you can see now Weingartner looking up the inside. It's going to be a right-hander, though. Huseman will be in a good position. They come around if he can keep them pushed a little bit wider. But Weingartner definitely some good speed. Still door-to-door action going on.
Yeah, look, clearly you could see it in his face that he thought he could have got the move done, but Huseman just about going to stick around on the inside line. Weingartner on the outside will know exactly how far and how close to the wall he can get and just try and drive it all the way around the outside. They both slide on the rear end. Huseman just that little bit more, which may give Weingartner the run towards the bus stop chicane. Drapkin looks like he's clear. It's just between David and Rick for P2, and it's going to run to the line, you'd think.
Yeah, man, you can see Weingartner's got some beautiful lines coming through. Huseman, though, doing a real good job using some of those go-kart lines. I know he's probably thinking in his head, it's road course. Got to remember, we're not on the dirt. And dirt runs in that kid's blood.
It certainly does. But David has got, 5 corners now to try and make that move for P2. He's got to get it done now. Rick, I thought he was taking a bit of grass there, but David took even more. Whoa, Matt Last at the back with Adam McAfee in front of him has gone around. That'll be his evening over, sadly, but keeps it out of the wall. Rick Huseman, can he keep it ahead of David Weingart? Yes, he could. I thought they changed positions there momentarily, but they did not. Rick is still ahead of David, and unless David can throw it around the outside or down the inside in the final corner, it looks like we've got our final 2 sets. Zachary Drapkin looks like he's just about going to keep it in front of the 2 behind. They've chased him all the way in these 4 laps, but Zachary Drapkin knew the equation, knew that he had to get to the top 2 to progress to our feature races tonight, and he has done that in style. Winning this last chance qualifier, he has made it into our 2 feature races tonight, and Rick Huseman will join him. David Weingart, you'd expect, will be disappointed. He was so close to making that move stick, but it's Zachary Drapkin and Rick Huseman through to the features.
Yeah, throwing a little drift mode in there. Nice run, though, I got to say. Congratulations to Zach Drapkin. A heck of a job there, and Rick Huseman. But I'll tell you, Weingartner, man, a couple more laps, it would have been a battle on all the way to the checkered flag.
Absolutely would have, but a great 4-lap race to get our evening's worth of racing underway, and it is Zachary Drapkin who is through after winning the first last chance qualifier race. Rick Huseman will join him after holding off David Weingartner towards the end. Trenton Briley finished 4th, Solomon Bertinger started last, finished in 5th. Adam McAfee and Matt Lass also finished the race, but sadly for them will not progress from this last chance qualifier. And after one, we move into our second last chance qualifier. Again, same equation, 4 laps, top 2 will go through, and it'll be Trevor Teal leading the field to green. Austin Schreiber will be alongside him, and they'll be the 2, warily looking over their shoulders to TJ Staver in P3 and Anthony James, who make up row number 2. Emma Valentina Flynn will start 5th, and Garrett Moore will be 6th. And then the final row, Christian Noble and Aidan Irvin. 8 drivers once again in this last chance qualifier race. Are we going to see more of the same with the top 2 just about sneaking away, or will we see the second row cause a little bit more havoc? We will wait and see. But we've got a little bit more time to cruise into this one. There's not an interview that I have half forgotten to begin. So we've got loads of time for this one. I think that opening race, Dave, really shows what we're going to see a lot of tonight here. You can go side by side pretty much anywhere here, but there is a lack of corners where you can really chuck it around that side. Almost a lot more dead time down the straights than we get at the dirt track, which means the drivers are going to have to be more almost effective with their moves tonight.
Yeah, you're going to have to do it. I mean, with Weingartner, you saw him making the big run on the outside there. The problem is he's putting himself on the outside. It's always a longer distance. When you're going to a right-hander, and there was a lot of them, even through a little chicane section there, he seemed to get stuck there. You got to kind of, I guess the strategy is getting up there to get inside. So if you do get a run, you can kind of get that foot in the door there to get through and take that apex away.
Yeah, the apexes are so critical here. Such long radiuses of some of these corners. You think of the carousel and how much rotation you have to put into the car. If you're on that outside line, you need a miracle, quite frankly, to make that move work. Saving grace, I guess, at a couple of these corners, particularly at turn 1, on the outside line. I kind of touched upon it when we saw it on lap number 3. If you're on the outside there, you know exactly how far wide you can go because the wall is your stop. If you're on the inside line, it's almost tricky to judge exactly where that car on the outside is going to be. So in a way, a couple of these corners do favour that outside line and the run that you're going to get out of them. And then others, you really have to make sure you're on the inside. If you're around the outside at the bus stop, you're not going to get to the inside for the second part, right?
Yeah, definitely. You're going to be stuck on the outside there. And of course, you got to watch it too. If someone pushes you a little too far, they might put you into the wall too.
Yeah, that's always the risk, right? You never want to find yourself stuck on the outside and eating some concrete. What do we expect from this race then? 4 laps, top 2 again look like they're going to have a good run towards turn number 1. Any names further back that you're looking at in terms of maybe getting towards that progression line?
Man, I'm going to say if you're the top 4 cars in there, I think that's what I'm going to have to stick for. It's going to be a hard rush. And I think it's the reaction time in the start too is going to really push you out there. So you got to be the top 4 and get the run, and you got to be smooth. You got to have no contact, and you can't get no wiggle waggle in there because the rear end breaks loose just a little bit. It's going to give that blink of an eye for somebody to just get a little bit of a jump on you. So I think positioned so well. So I think not only you may not have qualified in the top 16. But the lower you qualified, I just think it's a higher mountain to climb at that point.
Yeah, and also you get that race experience, don't you? Even if it's just 4 laps, you get that kind of side-by-side, practice for all intents and purposes before we get into those features, if you can therefore progress. But we're going to be finding out who will do soon from this second last chance qualifier group. They're coming into the penultimate turn behind the pace truck before it will peel in, and we will go green flag racing. We saw in the opening last chance qualifier that it was a difficult launch on the inside line, good run around the outside. Are we going to see more of the same? Let's wait and see. Pace truck will come in as they round the final corner then here at Watkins Glen. Second of our last chance qualifier race. 2 more spots in the feature left to decide, and we have got 7 cars on the grid to try and see who is going to take them. Green flag in hand for Barney, just waiting to fly it. There it goes, and we are racing once again. Already good jump for the pole sitter, and we're going to see drivers jump into that slipstream already and into that draft. Trevor Teal is clearing away though at the front. Schreiber will not get to the inside line, but it will be TJ Staver and Anthony James fighting side by side behind. Contact in though. I think that's Emma Valentina Flynn nearly around. They're going to have to keep it together through turn number 1.
And you can see TJ Staver right there on James, also on the way outside, going really wide there. He's going to tuck in. He's going to lose some speed there. But Trevor Teal with a great reaction time jumped out there. He's looking for his day. He's been beat up and beaten on in the back of the pack in the past couple races. Now I think he's looking for the redemption. But look at this. TJ Staver trying to get a big run up the inside. This might be a good chance if he can stick it in there. And there it is. That's what I was talking about. You got to get that foot in the door. But it looks like he might have just lost a little bit of momentum there. And, definitely a little contact back there. Staver, Moore, and Janes right now. They're at 3 wide. Looks like Jane's going to drop back just a little bit. And you can see Emma Valentina Flynn also. Noble really lost a lot of ground back there.
Yeah, disappointing for the 946. Looks out of contention already. Austin Schreiber very much in contention for the lead. Inside line into the penultimate corner for the 51. Can he just about squeeze it down? He's going to have the inside line. It's going to turn to the outside, and he won't make a move this time by very congested at the front, though. TJ Staver right involved in this once again. I don't think I can remember the last time I saw 3 wide into the bus stop chicane, but we saw it on lap number 1. Garrett Moore still involved, Anthony James. This is a much closer heat than we saw just a moment ago. Top 6 within a second. TJ Staver around the outside. There's contact galore. Everybody's making contact with each other. Emma Valentina sending it in turn number 1. Not going to work out quite the way that she was hoping for, but you can see from Anthony James' point of view, it's chaos up in front.
Yeah, it's definitely one of these things I'm really paying attention to is on the braking, too. Some of the drivers trying to outbrake each other, hold off a little bit longer, a little bit deeper into the turn there, and that might pay off a few times. It almost paid off a few times for Staver. Unfortunately, Staver got pushed out wide. But the battle right now, you look at this. Schreiber now, just by inches, gets the inside line now. Teal back to that second position. Still, once again, a qualifying spot. But I'll tell you, TJ Staver, though, is right on the back end of Trevor Teal. In fact, he almost gave him a little bump and trying to kick the back door in there.
Yeah, so close to disastrous contact through there, but they just about keep it facing in a straight line. Staver, he's made a couple of attempts to that top 2, hasn't he? He's going to feel really disappointed if he can't find his way there by the end of the race. 2 more laps to go then as they make their way in towards the final corner for the second time. Big old slide in the back there for Anthony James as he made his way through. But the top 3 are away a little bit. Garrett Moore dropping off the back just to touch. That gap about 8 tenths then between 3rd and 4th, with Schreiber, Teal and Staver at the front. If they can almost isolate themselves, this is going to become a 3-car race for 2 places, and Staver looks like he's going to put himself into the second one. Yes, he is. Late on the brakes, Trevor Teal not with much of an answer, and the pole sitter now slips to P3.
Yeah, it looks like Teal now tries to answer back right to the inside, and he's going to feed him a door as he goes by him again here, but Staver is going to keep the pedal down there, getting on that loud pedal. He's not going to back off. He's going to try and outbrake him again going through there, and Staver holds on to a Teal back to P3 at this point. Teal a little frustrated, I can imagine right now. He's going to like to think this through. You know, we're down 3 laps, 4 make up the distance here. That white flag is just really going to put him in a panic here. But look at this. Garrett Moore now getting up to Teal. Teal's going to have to go into protection mode, which could allow Staver to kind of slip away from him at that point.
Yeah, and look at that. Anthony James up the inside. He was up the inside of Garrett Moore into the first part of the carousel, up the inside of Trevor Teal into the second part, and he's had two moves for the price of 1 in the 2-1-7. Let's see if he can keep it around the outside, though, into the penultimate corner. Trevor Teal is by no means dispatched with. As they make their way through, can Anthony James just about hang it around the outside, claim the inside line for the final corner? He's not quite going to be able to uphold the second part of that equation, and will have to stay in P4. 1 more lap to go. Barney waving that white flag up in the flag control. But let's see, can Austin Schreiber hold on to this? You'd think so. He's got a full second of an advantage. TJ Staver does as well, but they're not going to leave any position unfought for. Eamon Valentina, Flynn fighting for P5, and Christy Noble after that difficult start back into the equation, but it looked like he lost that rear end through turn number 1. Oh, he's still there.
Yeah, difficult run through there, a little bit close to the wall. You know, luckily you got that rear end hit back up there. Teal still just a tick off that quadrant position, but you can see back 1.9 from the leader, and he's almost a full second from Staver. So I think he pretty much in his head, he went into protection mode, lost sight of the driver in front of him, and that's where the problem lies right there. You got to stop worrying about behind you. Yeah, you don't want to lose a spot, but if you're one spot of a qualifying position, you can't lose sight of the driver in front of you. You got to concentrate on your lines. That's the key right there.
Yeah, and we've seen that Schreiber, whose name... Oh, sorry, his name has changed. Of course, that's the team, of course, as I look at the timing tower. Schreiber has controlled this from the start, really. When he got to the lead at the end of lap number 1, he has been in absolute control, hasn't really looked back and looked over his shoulder in a worried way, and it will be him to come around the final corner. He will win this second last chance qualifier heat, which means he'll progress through to our feature, and in P2 it will be another good run from TJ Staver, who's just about been able to get his way to P2, had a couple of stabs at it, but in the end it's the 51 and the 15 who will make their way into the feature this evening. Trevor Teal, he'll be disappointed, I'm sure, to just miss out in the end, but for the number 72, sadly it is going to be an early evening for him. Austin Schreiber then confirmed as the race winner ahead of TJ Staver. Those two will make their way through into the feature, which starts in just a couple of minutes' time. Trevor Teal and Anthony James 3rd and 4th. Emma Valentina Flynn finished in 5th ahead of Garrett Moore and Christy Noble. We didn't see Aidan Irvin take the start in that race, but after the last couple of qualifier races, we can see the top 16 get themselves back into gear and back ready for some racing. 20 drivers now on the circuit. It's going to get a lot busier, a lot quicker now.
Yeah, definitely. I think Aiden's one of our stewards there back in race control, so I think that's just a placeholder, kind of. That's what kind of Aiden's job normally.
That makes sense why he was 5 laps down there.
Yes.
Wouldn't really want to be 5 laps down for any other reason, would you really? But yeah, we get into the warm-up then before our feature race. It'll be 10 laps for each of our feature races this evening. Our competition course comes on lap 4 as well, and of course the result from race 1 will set the grid for race 2, with the exception of that top 6 being reversed. So that fight between 6th and 7th and 8th, of course, will be hard fought, as it always is in the opening race, because you can get a big old difference between finishing in 6th and finishing in 7th. And we saw, didn't we, in those last chance qualifier races, it's not necessarily too easy to make a whole, chunk of moves at this circuit. Even if you have some good pace, there's just not many corners to get it done. So that battle over that final reverse grid position could be really quite important in this one.
Well, I mean, now we've got 20 trucks versus the 6 trucks we're running, or 8 trucks. It gets a little bit more crowded out there, and I think everybody's going to have the same thought in their head. At what time are you going to split out and make the move and hope somebody else isn't doing the same for you? Because this track, definitely the guys, they're not running sideways, they're not 3 wide, basically rotating around a corner. It's all about being smooth. You get sideways, you're going to lose speed here. You're going to go to the back of the pack. And again, I mean, this now I'm going to say with this many laps, you're going to have to be top 6, or you're going to have a smooth run.
Yeah, you certainly are. You really want to be in a race situation being put into the grass on the inside going in towards the bus stop, but luckily this is warm-up and everyone is... no one's really going to be too concerned about their finishing position in the warm-up section. But yeah, I think this opening race definitely has a lot riding on it. Of course, thinking back to the championship that we haven't really thought about since qualifying, we of course have our championship leader in the form of Drake Mittag, who qualified in P6, so is on that bubble, will have to be wary. And also slightly concerned on the fact that Conor Barry and Josh Edmondson, who are within 6 points of him coming into this race in the championship, are starting at the front of the field. So a little bit of work for Drake to do, and he's got to be careful of what Conor and Josh are able to put together. But they've got 10 laps to sort this one out. Of course, as I mentioned, that competition caution coming on lap 4, so a bit of a sprint before we get to that, and then a little bit longer afterwards before we have our checkered flag fly for the first time this evening. But it's great to get the sights and sounds of this Watkins Glen circuit before we have a look at our grid. Conor Barry then will lead us away from the pole in the number 2 in P1, there you go, ahead of Josh Edmondson. Those two 3rd and 4th in the championship, ahead of Sean Winkler, 5th in the championship, and Luke Knopp, who's a little bit further down in 12th, who will start in P4. Tad Countryman and Drake Mittag, championship leader, start 5th and 6th, and that'll be the top 6 going into the race. Robbie Swan will be looking to try and get himself into that, and therefore the reverse grid, as he starts 7th. He's alongside Dennis Mickelson on the 4th row of the grid. Tyson Miller and Nicholas Dashley inside row number 5, with Matthew Lind and Cody Winiecki on row number 6. Joey Herbie and John Novinger on row 7, ahead of Cody van der Veer and Ray Bedoin, who was that final driver in qualifying to make his way into the top 16. Zachary Drapkin and Austin Schreiber are 2 winners from our last chance qualifying heats. Rick Huseman and TJ Stava are 2 P2s, and Trevor Teal will find his way to P21 on the grid, I do believe, although he will not. That, I believe, was a timing glitch from the last chance qualifier that I saw from Aiden just a few minutes ago. So it will just be those top 20 to go through, and we are rolling on the formation lap. 20 trucks on the grid. This is going to be exciting for the opening lap, isn't it?
Definitely, and there's noticeable driver Keaton Swain that's missing on this one, so kind of curious on that one. Keaton got one of the wins in Arizona, so kind of shocked not to see him here. Yeah,
he's looking to lose out big, really, in comparison to the rest of the drivers. When you think that, you know, the average points for our top 4 in the championship over the opening 2 evenings has been about 90, 95 per evening, so this is not good news for Keaton Swain at all. We'll have to see if the likes of Rick Huseman and Zachary Drapkin can work their way up. Of course, they're 8th and 9th in the championship, but had to come through that last chance qualifier to get themselves in this feature. Tad Countryman, just inside the top 10 in the championship, is inside that top 5 in this race. So lots of storylines to keep an eye on in what is realistically quite a short, sharp race. I mean, 10 laps at full pelt. Yes, we'll have that competition caution, but 10 laps at full pelt, you know, is only about 13, 14 minutes. These are not long races in the grand scheme of things, so you've got to get the moves on effectively. But yeah, even with this competition caution as well, it's going to mean that these racing laps are more condensed. But Drake Mittag, got to be careful, isn't he? That 7th and 8th position drivers right behind are going to be very keen to get through early on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think there's going to be a lot of traffic come through there. Conor Barry and Edmondson, you know, in their mind, they want to get out, they want to get clean. And Luke Knapp's another driver that keep an eye on it there for sure. Knapp, very crafty in multiple disciplines, as well as Edmondson and Conor Barry there. So I'm kind of excited to see how this one's going to play out here. I'm kind of see if my predictions, you know, the top 6 trucks, I think that's where the battle's going to be.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, because Conor Barry is about to take the green flag right alongside Josh Edmondson. They all pile in behind as we wait for the green flag to fly here at Watkins Glen, and there it goes. We are racing for 10 laps of the Glen. Good launch in the end, I believe that is, from Josh Edmondson on the outside line. It'll be Conor Barry trying to defend that lead on the inside as they work their way into the opening corner for the first time. 2 by 2 all the way through the pack, 3 wide in the background, but it will still be Barry and Edmondson side by side as they exit turn number 1.
And you can see the Knapp there is literally attached to the rear end of Edmondson, trying to follow him through here. And you can see a little bit of battles there for that 3rd spot. You can see definitely some tough ones. I'm seeing we all just our factory set of the names. So Conor Barry, Edmondson, there we go. Knapp, Mittag, Winkler, the top 5 right now. Mittag and Winkler battling it out there.
Yeah, they are. A bit of a contact between Josh Edmondson and Luke Knupp as well as they made their way in towards the bus stop chicane. Good start, though, for Knapp to get away in the opening couple of laps side by side in behind. That is going to be a good move in the end, I think, for the number 51. And making moves early, actually, after coming through that last chance qualifier race, but side by side all the way off of the apron as they worked their way through the carousel. That was, of course, Austin Schreiber making moves up to P13 already after starting, I believe, P17 in this race. So a good start for him. Josh Edmondson still defending through the final corner, though, on this opening lap. Connor Bauer, he's got a bit of breathing room at the front of the field. Luke Knupp trying to fight his way in a bit of contact with the wall with Edmondson. Got to be careful. They are piling in behind between second and sixth at the moment.
And that's what I think slowing Edmondson down right now, trying to hold off Luke Knupp. Knupp trying to swivel around. You can see Drake Matag there in that COD back machine. And then behind them, it's just the battle. These guys are swapping, but they're literally connected at the tails, nose to tail, nose to tail. 5 cars right now all battling out there. All for second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, apologies. Yeah, it's so close for those important positions as well. And I mean, if they can keep themselves in that top 6, of course, they're all going to be battling each other just in that reversal by the time we get to our second feature race of the evening. Drake Matag, our championship leader, there he is on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Face of concentration as he bounces his way over the curbs at the bus stop right behind Luke Knupp. It's a good start from him, really, when you think about it. Of course, started in P6 and had to be careful of the drivers behind, but instead of looking behind him, was making moves forward. And now the P4 is in P4. I'm sure he wouldn't mind getting himself onto the podium, though.
Yeah, you can see Edmondson now able to break away a little bit. Now his concentration is going to be on Connor Berry there, as I think the battle back there, Matag, and is going to be definitely have his work cut out for him there, trying to make through there. In his mind right now, you know, I'm up there now. I got to get by Knupp. I got to get by that number 5 machine, and Knupp's thinking the same thing. Edmondson, lead follower, move out of my way. Going to give the old desert bump there.
Yeah, all the way down into Tunnel 1. Clearly shows that they're not necessarily too worried about making moves right now, because, you know, when you've got a driver in front of you right on hand, just in case you wanted to make a move, you will be able to do so later on into this race. Edmondson will look like he will defend, but we're going to have a quick look back at Tad Countryman, of course, started P5. Ooh. This was lap 1. We didn't see this because we were on board with the top 4, but unfortunately for Tad, he kind of got caught up there, got bounced into the inside wall, and you know, you can kind of hold it if you it bounced over the curb, but the second you make contact with that steel barrier, you're going to be finding yourself in a world of pain. And sadly for him, right the way down the order now.
And it looked like, Drapkin got caught up in that too, one of our earlier winners too. And it looks like he got shuffled all the way back there. He's going to have to fight his way through. As you can see, Edmondson just trying to get a little breathing room as he tries to chase down Connor Berry now in the CVR General Tire machine there. But Knupp definitely on the move. You know, I can see Knupp. He's just trying to see every time he's trying to get a move there in Edmondson, he can see, you know, Drake Matag back there, and he's got to fill that hole every time. Don't leave the door open. He's trying to, you know, trying to protect, but also trying to chase him down.
Yeah, and of course not long before we get to that competition portion either, so we'll see if anybody can make these moves in the next minute or so. Edmondson's still holding on for that P2 for the time being, at least. We're not seeing too many drivers making moves through this lap or two at the moment. They're just trying to keep themselves relevant. Of course, this being race 1 as well means that their finishing position will help set the grid for race number 2, so they don't want to make too many mistakes. That's a bit of a mistake, though. Matthew Linder getting a bit of a tap up the rear end there. I think that was from Rick Hughesman as they go so close to the wall. Tad Countryman will come through at turn number 1 as well, but really good battling, even right at the back of the field.
Well, just like in desert racing and short course, you know, you're going to have to bump somebody, let them know you're behind. Give them a little wave as you try to go by.
Move outside line it'll be for our championship leader. Can he make it work? Not quite, and he's going to be found himself passed by the 720. Was trying to be opportunistic in the end, but as he made his way through the bus stop chicane, Drake Matag has been overtaken. You know, quite easily, really. And it just goes to show how dangerous it can be if you go for the move and it doesn't pay off, that it can, you know, come up pretty badly for you, and you lose out more positions than you gain.
Yeah, Matag looks like he's, you know, still there. You see he's up to 3rd place now. Winkler and Knupp now have switched around. Winkler was the one able to get by. Drake able to hold on to that 3rd position as he made that move there. He's got the COD, the all-blue machine there. Another 2nd generation off-road racer, so it's awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic as we see Mikkelsen try and get his way towards turn 1. But of course, that's the end of lap number 4, as we'll see. Oh, good line through there, through the opening. Yeah, I thought we were competition caution, but then they went really wide. Are they still racing? No, they're not. We are slowed down after the opening. Down. Yeah, we're difficult to see from that angle, isn't it? But yeah, from this angle, you can clearly see they are not at full pelt, and Conor Barry and everybody else has backed off for the competition caution at the end of lap 4, and it kind of gives us a chance to look at the order and who we have to keep a keen eye out for. Mikkelsen is on the inside of the top 6 now, but Robbie Swan and Cody Winiecki just on the outside. I think Cody's going to be looking to try and get himself into the top 6 here. Of course, been a slightly difficult championship coming into this one, 19th at the moment, but this is a really good chance to pick up good points. And really, same could be said for Robbie Swan, 23rd in the championship, but with a chance of maybe getting into provisional pole, provisional P2 for race number 2.
Yeah, I'm expecting Miller to start making some moves there because he's within the hunt for the points back there. Anytime you're within the top 10, you got to come out swinging. You're going to have to start make moves. And comp caution, it's always the race within the race. It's something that was created many years ago for television to make the racing a little bit tighter so someone just doesn't run away. So we gap them back up and, fire them off again. And I always think it makes for great racing. And there's a lot of strategy that goes into it for these drivers, too. Establish your position the first half of the race. The second half, let it all hang out.
Yeah, but of course you've got to be wary in the opening race that you don't make too many mistakes and,
yes,
like Pan Countryman slip back. So you're still holding a little bit back before we get to race 2, where I think the last 5 laps are really going to be drivers leaving absolutely everything on the table. Conor Barry then will come through the final couple of corners before we get this race back underway. Mittag cycled back up to P3 in all of that. Luke Nutt back to P5. There's contact in behind. Oh, no. Oh, Zachary Drapkin. There must have been a bit of miscommunication back there. Drapkin is around, and the 56 is finding himself right at the back of the order. Will try and reclaim his spot. I think he will do so ahead of TJ Stave. There must have been, rear end to nose contact. But either way, they've sorted it out before we get racing once again. And Conor Barry will get ready for us to be green flag flying once more. And there we go, drivers getting the foot back on the throttle, and we are racing once more. 5 laps to go here at the Glen. Barry leads us away. Edmondson in P2. They're fighting side by side for P6 and 7.
Hey, you see Mikkelsen there in the 6 trying to make a move also, and then I do believe back to the 37, a little bit of side by side with them. So it's going to be a little bit crazy. So they come through here, and that's what you got to do is you got to make your move early. We've seen the moves in the first lap, usually on the start. Now the restart, we're seeing the same again.
Yeah, and good defence from Robbie Swan on the inside through 2 and 3 to keep himself in the top 6, but Mikkelsen will be really frustrated to lose out on what would be provisional pole immediately on that restart. Tyson Miller, as you mentioned, looking to try and make moves in all of this 2 by 2 as they make their way in towards the bus stop for the first time after our caution. Tyson Miller just looking to bounce his way through at the moment. Cody van der Veer, I think it was, going very wide as well in that 59. They'll work through the carousel with Robbie Swan still ahead, but the top 5 are clearly away. It could just be a battle for P6 with everybody in behind. The 23 of Nicholas Dachelet is looking to try and fight away with Cody Winiecki, who started this second part of the race in P10. Careful of Austin Schreiber as well. He was making moves in the first part of the race, making moves again, could be in P12 after starting, all the way down in P17. Winiecki through, though, as he makes his way into the final corner, but really frantic racing. Great to see side by side. A little bit of contact maybe, but it's all for P10 and 11.
Yeah, battle between Winiecki and Dachelet right now. Dachelet in the 23. As you can see now, someone trying to make a move on Swan. I believe that is Mikkelsen there. Miller, see if he's going to try and do there. It's not going to happen. Swan with a great driving. We saw him early the last couple laps. Really smooth through those turns and able to gap out on these guys. Every time they get up there, he's able to pull away. I think these guys are driving a little too hard, pushing these cars here. And that's when you start getting sideways. You're getting that sideways friction. You're also shaving time and you're saving speed off the car.
Yeah, and all those little considerations are really important to almost iron out, particularly at this stage of the evening, but so difficult when you're in such a tense competition. Oh no, bit of contact. Oh, what a save that is from Josh Edmondson. Looked like he was about to go all the way around there, but held it together. He may lose out in the end to Winkler, but however, it's better to be P3 than P15, so good news for Edmondson. Meanwhile, behind, battle between P5 and P4. in the number 5 and the number 4 that are in the wrong order at the moment. But our championship leader, Drake Mittag, has slipped back to P5. We'll see if he can reclaim that position in just a moment. But really frantic racing for P2 now. They've allowed our race leader to get away just a little bit, and Conor Barry has that little bit of breathing room now with 3 laps to go as they make their way through the final corner. But Mittag looking to try and make the moves back through again, but Edmondson having to defend again through towards turn number 1.
Yeah, Luke Knupp is really trying to push him on there. Now Mittag goes up the inside, trying to get a 2-for-1 special, see if he can get the inside of Edmondson. He's going to get Luke Knupp. He's up to another spot there. That's what he's thinking in his mind now, to P4 from P5. He slipped back. He was earlier running a P3, but you can see now that Luke Knupp definitely now fighting with Edmondson back there. As you can see right now, the 720 machine is definitely on the move.
Yeah, absolutely. And clear of this little group of cars. It was a good line, it was, in the end, from the number 4, just to be able to find that inside line, or not find the inside line, but find a good cutback on the inside line at turn number 1. Get back through on Drake Mittag and gain the position back again and put more pressure on Edmondson as they run their way through the carousel once again. As we run our way towards the final couple of corners, we will see a quick little replay of what happened to the 56. This was the Constantina effect as they made their way into the final couple of corners. This is what we saw in the background, and that really was a squash, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a big hit. Luckily, no damage there, but everybody else still fighting there. I can still see Drapkin back in the distance there as he's trying to be in survival mode at this point. But also take into consideration, you talked about Edmondson. You know, if you finish in this position, it's not that bad. He still gets the points, but you're also not going to have to climb all the way up front. You're going to be moving up a little bit. You'll be right where you're at when you start. The guys in the front, the one's going to be definitely frustrated when they get shuffled back to 5 and 6.
Yeah, that's when you start getting worried. 2 laps to go, isn't it, before we do see the end of the race, and where we will see P6 become P1 for race number 2 and P7 remain P7 for the start of race number 2 in terms of the grid. So that's an important distinction to make. Tyson Miller is fighting with Dennis Nicholson. You can see that in the background, actually. I think they're going to be side by side, you know. There they are, exactly side by side. Tyson Miller, the driver that you mentioned, Dave, to make moves, has made the move, and the important one to P6. Mickelson trying to hold it around the outside, can't quite do so. And Miller, he started this second part of the race in P9. He's worked his way to P6, but Mickelson's up the inside. He knows he can't really let this position slide, and he's trying to keep himself involved in the battle. They are having a great little tussle now as they work their way towards the final 2 turns.
Well, you got to remember, Tyson's the Terminator. He says, I'll be back, as he fights his way up through there. I got to say, he's got his own little group back there to fight with. As you can see, everybody else in front of him, Mickelson, Mittag, Knupp, Edmondson, Winkler, and, of course, Barry, who's running away with this one. They've got their groups of sections. Right now, it's just in survival mode. You know, we've got 9 laps down, 10 make up the distance here. We're coming right down to the wire here, I think. Mickelson and Mittag, though, will definitely be sitting pretty, and the pressure will be on them going into the second race here today.
Yeah, get your chips down for who's going to finish in P6. Only one of these drivers is going to be on pole, and everyone else is going to start from 7th down. Really big prize to win it. Not necessarily the top points, but really good chance for race number 2 as well. Wide in the background, I believe that is Cody van der Veer. Actually, it's Nicholas Dashley who's trying to keep it together, but Cody Winicki's through. Zachary Drapkin through on John Lombiger. Austin Schreiber in there as well. Really frantic behind, but it looks like it's going to be Robbie Swan to defend from Dennis Mickelson as they run in towards the bus stop. Half a lap to go here. Who comes out on top? Mickelson to the inside.
Yeah, you can see Mickelson trying to make the move now to the inside there of Swan, but Swan trying to answer that, lean on him. Here comes the Terminator, almost 3 wide through this turn, but it's going to be Mickelson getting the move on Swan. Mickelson up to 6, Swan back to 7th. He's been so smooth, but here comes Van der Veer when Nicky is also on the move. Miller goes back to 10th. He just starts sliding back, starts making the moves. You can see that pack, the front runners, and they're all running like, scared dogs up front right now. Connor looking rather relaxed.
Yeah, he looks... there's almost a smile on that face as he comes through the final corner. You can just about see it in the corner of his mouth. Oh, careful in behind. That's Luke Knupp spinning. But as he has a couple of issues, Conor Barry will come through easily for the win. Sean Winkler and Josh Edmondson second and third. Mittag and Knupp. I think there was a little bit of contact through there. Look at these guys, though, for P6. Into the grass, spinning around as they cross the line in the air. Crazy finish to this opening race of the evening. Robbie Swan finished just behind Dennis Mickelson, who will be on that reverse grid pole. What a way to end the opening race of the evening, though. Cars here, there, and everywhere across the start-finish line.
Yeah, I think Drapkin found a few friends back there. They wanted to get up and close and share some fiberglass.
That they did, but in the end it was Conor Barry who won that opening race here, or opening feature race here this evening, and will take all the points for it. Sean Winkler P2 and Josh Emerson in P3. Hopefully we'll get a quick word from them in just a minute. Championship leader Drake Mittag, he's the number 4, finished P4. Luke Knupp, he's the number 5. He finished in P5. Nice little bit of synergy there. Dennis Mikkelsen won that big battle. They were 5 seconds off that top group of 5, but he will be on the reverse grid pole after finishing in P6. Robbie Swan, Cody van der Veer, Cody Wieniecki, and Tyson Miller, who was in P6 on the penultimate lap, slipped down to P10, will have to settle for that 10th place finish. That's the top half of the grid. Bottom half started by Nicholas Dashley, who finished in 11th ahead of Zachary Drapkin and Austin Shai, but all 13, well, down to P13 was that big clump of cars fighting over P6. Josh Numinger actually involved in that as well, I should say, with Matthew Linder and Tag Crunchyman, who spun on the opening lap but recovered to be only some 2 seconds off P6 come the end of that race, but sadly all the way down in P16. TJ Staver 17th, Ray Bedoin 18th, Rick Huseman and Joey Hervey will line up on the back row of the grid for race number 2. But just as I was about to bring in Conor Barry, he says interviewing me last, he's been on the session, that's fine. We will move straight on then to our P2 man, who was Sean Winkler, who should join us now. Sean, welcome in. Congratulations on the P2. Talk us through that. That was a really tricky race, particularly in that battle for second and third. It was up and down, but are you happy to come away just about with that P2?
Yeah, I'm happy. I moved up a spot, qualified P3. Those guys are super fast, obviously, so we did the best we could. And, kind of got a weird start and dropped back a couple spots, got one back, and then there was a little contact in the bus stop, so I just kind of had to make that move, and I just kind of went around the outside and got into P2 and tried to track Connor down, but he's super fast, so it's hard to reel him in, so I'm happy with second place.
Yeah, and of course, just about edging out your championship rival. Well, I say championship rival, edging out Josh Emerson, lost out to Conor Barry, but also ahead of Jake Mittag. You'll be behind him for race number 2. What's the strategy going to be starting P5?
Yeah, we're just going to try and get a good start best we can, stay clean through the first couple corners, and then kind of let everything settle out and see what happens, and try to take advantage of any mistakes out there and move up as far as we can. Yeah,
sounds like a plan. But well done, Sean. Good job on the P2.
Yep.
Maybe see you again in just a few minutes' time.
I hope so. See you soon. Thanks, guys.
Sean Winkler there, P2 in that opening race. He was trailed just by Josh Emerson, and Dave, he's in to have a chat with you now.
Yeah, Josh, what a great run there! But I gotta say, the battle with Sean Winkler, and then again Luke Knupp, Mittag, definitely handing you. You just guys are going door to door, 3 wide at sometimes. Lost him.
Josh,
no audio.
Josh, we can't hear you. Is there a mic you need to turn on?
How about now?
Yeah, there's the button. You found it. Here you go.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard me on that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's tough. You don't have a mirror in these trucks, and the draft is so huge. So everybody behind's just going to get a huge run. It's really tough to know what they're going to do and where they're at exactly.
Well, you're now sitting at, kind of like in the middle area of everything that's going on. What is your strategy on the restart on this one, especially, knowing Connor's going to be back there too?
Yeah, I haven't heard what the invert is, but just hopefully, get through the first couple laps clean and stay with the lead pack. It's so easy to lose time if you guys try and make moves, into the bus stop or anywhere else. You just lose so much time either to the people ahead or behind. So, I don't know. It's just try and stay with the lead pack, I think.
And I know with points implications, this is the big one right now. I mean, I'm sure a lot's on your mind here. Race number 2 is, what's your focus routine going on?
Just try and do better than that one. I feel like I have the pace to win, but again, with the draft, you just can't really do anything. That doesn't mean much. Yeah. So, just try and race smart and get the win, hopefully.
Well, I want to say good luck to you, and we're going to see how this all turns out.
Thanks, Dave.
And I do believe Dara is going to be, we got Conor Barry with you right now.
We do. Race winner from race number 1. He was setting up the session after winning the opening race of the evening. Conor, welcome in. I mean, that looked like a relatively calm race for you at the front in the end. They were fighting in behind. Did it feel like that?
Yeah, it did. I knew that it was gonna be tough out there to really get away. The draft is just is such a big thing here. But I was able to build a gap in both of those like stints. So it definitely was smooth out there. It was just trying to be smart. And we brought home the win, and now we're going to be starting in the second spot now. So going to go out there and try to do it again.
Yeah, of course, not going to be starting on pole this time. So how does the strategy change on the opening lap? Is it more aggression, or is it more conservative just to make sure you don't get caught up in the pack?
I think that will really depend on where I come out of and where I start, like if I get a good start on first or not. If I come out in second, it's just going to be about being smart. If I can come out first, then going to go try and build up a gap again. So just got to be smart out there and get through, and then just be smart. Yeah.
I think you're going to be going into this race as the provisional championship leader by a point or two, so it's looking pretty good for you in that regard as well. But well done in the opening race win, Connor, and good luck for race number 2.
Thank you.
Connor Barry there, he's a busy man. He was setting up the session after winning the race. He is right on it tonight, pole position as well. He looks really quite strong. Before we get into race number 2, we will take a short break of just a couple of minutes. Stick around though, because if race 1 is anything to go by, race 2 is going to be one you will not want to miss.
You want to know what's going on in your dirt sports world? Whether it's 4 wheels, 2 wheels, Dirt Sports World's got you covered. From the dirt to the dunes, we bring you the latest action in racing, to lifestyle, the newest parts, the newest vehicles, and what the superstars of off-road are up to. Check out our social media for up-to-date information on Instagram, Facebook, Dirt Sports World, and more in depth, and check out the magazine at www.dirtsportsworld.com. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Dirt Sports World, for some great videos. So make sure to follow us and come get dirty with us.
I told y'all, we got the game on lock. Crank Lucas the rap deucer. Team Real Racing. Y'all already know we won. Off-road racing, quick as in the desert. To the finish line, passing through the checkers. It's Team Real, we just much better. When we on the track, we apply that pressure. People lined up screaming from the sideline when they see the UT class fly by, or they see me in the truck doing drive-bys in the Parker Dam or in the Baja. Every time you see me rolling through inside a buggy, and I'm counting up the money because I came to multiply it. Push a 1200 horsepower in the motor. You don't really want to race me, I dare you to try it. Started up the engine, now my wheels on fire. Zooming through the track while I'm burning up the rubber. Better get them slow waves out of my water. You don't want to see the shark or there's a crusher. It's Team Real, y'all know what the biz. Crank Lucas and I'm spinning on the wheel. Doing 160 past you so fast when the wind hits your body, get the chills. Telling everybody they can eat my dust, but I guarantee you won't beat my best. Pop a champagne when I'm at the finish line and I'm holding up the trophy and I beat my chest. What first place look like it's me? I don't do twos and I never met a three. People know the Team Real logo when I'm running through the desert and I'm running all through the streets. Never have to cap my race game tight. My vehicles can go all night. Foot up on the gas, I can never brake right because I'm allergic to all the red lights. Team Real, Team Real. Everybody thinking that they faster till they got a race. Team Real, Team Real. All about the speed and you can see it all up in my face. Team Real, Team Real. Real scared money don't make no money. It's Team Real, Team Real. Hit a motor rumble and the tires burning from the rubber. Team Real, Team Real. Everybody thinking that they faster till they got a race. Team Real, Team Real. All about the speed and you can see it all up in my face. Team Real, Team Real. Real scared money don't make no money. It's Team Real, Team Real. Hit a motor rumble and the tires burning from the rubber.
So much to look forward to, including crowning our very first short course National Series World Champion. First up, it's the three-time king starting off on top. It's win 17 for Connor Barry. Barry getting quite comfortable in victory lane. First-time winner in the iRacing Short Course National Series. Take a bow, Drake Mittag. Matt Adams is winner 22. He does it in the signature Propellers Long Beach Surfside Showdown. Keaton Swain's not going to stand down. To the line, a photo finish.
He finally got it. Swain, pop the champagne, baby.
And while Luke Canuck's yet to taste success in 2025, it's going to be a taste that's oh so sweet. Her first win in the National Series through Calamity Corner. Crystal King gets it done.
Welcome back to the Glen for race number 2 of the evening here from round 3 of the iRacing Short Course Pro 2 National Series. It's been a good evening so far. We've been through qualifying, our last chance qualifiers, and had our first feature as well. Top 6 have been reversed, and we are going to be looking to get going, or top 2 I should say have been reversed after that one, and we are going to be looking to get going relatively soon. I say that because Sean Winkler will start on the pole ahead of Connor Bowery. It'll be Josh Emerson who finished in P3, and that will start P3 Drake Mittag, Luke Knupp, and Dennis Mickelson 4th, 5th and 6th. We roll further back for Robbie Swan and Cody van der Veer on row number 4 as they finished in race number 1 with Cody Wozniacki and Tyson Miller on row 5. Nicholas Dashley and Zachary Dratkin kick off the bottom half of the grid. They make up row number 6 ahead of Austin Schreiber. Keep an eye out for him. Started P17 in race 1, made moves early on. We'll see if he can replicate that for race 2. He's ahead of John Nobiger. Matthew Linder and Tad Countryman make up row 8 with TJ Staver and Ray Bedoin on row 9 with Rick Huseman and Joey Herbie on row 10. Aiden Irvin, he's in the session just as an admin. Don't worry about him. He will not be taking the green flag. 20 cars again on the grid. Big evening in the championship this, isn't it? Not just for the for being the only road course that we'll go to this season, but we've had a few newer names towards the top. But also, this is the third round of 5, Dave. You know, it is going to be a really big milestone in the championship, because coming into this race, you've got more than half the championship to go. Coming out of this race, you've got 2 rounds left. You know, it's a short championship, and you know the points you score tonight and the championship position you find yourself in is going to be crucial.
Oh, yeah, especially Barry takes the win. That should, push him up after this first race. Matag knocks down Keaton Swain, the big point implications not being here. But I think Edmondson also is going to do well. You know, he's sitting there on 4th in points, so it's going to switch things up tonight. You know, Edmondson, I know his goal is going to definitely have to be in there, and Winkler right behind Edmondson at points. And, of course, Winkler came ahead of Edmondson. So now Edmondson is going to have to, fire right back.
Yeah, it's going to be a really important start, I think. You know, as we said, race 1, you're setting the grid for race 2, so you're always going to be a little bit more careful. Race 2, after we finish this race and the results are tallied, they're not going to worry about these positions ever again. Qualifying will come around for the next round, so they are going to go hell for leather on the, particularly in the last few laps, I think you'd expect. Before we get going, though, Dev, I'm going to throw you hard under the bus. Who do you think is going to win this one?
Whoever comes across and gets the checker flag first. I'm not my first rodeo.
We've all been here. We've all done this. We've all got it wrong many times, haven't we? It's going to be hard fought, though, that's for sure. 20 cars on the grid, and the same 2 that led the field in race 1 are going to lead the field away in race number 2, just in the other way around. But is it going to be a good launch from our pole position in race 1 and our race winner Connor Barry, or will Sean Winkler get the advantage on that inside line? We're through the final corner, waiting for Barney to wave that green flag for the final time tonight. 10 laps of racing to come your way, with the first 4 before our competitive caution. But we are racing already. Great start again from Connor Barry. He led into turn 1 on race number 1. He looks like he's going to do the same in race number 2, being pushed by championship leader Drake Mittag as well, who started P4, looking to get to P2, side by side behind Winkler, looking to hold on to second place, but they're going to be 3 wide as they come off the turn number 1.
And you can see all of a sudden Connor Barry went a little bit wide through that section there. You see Mittag trying to split the upright between Winkler and Barry right now. He's going to tuck him behind Barry and get that draft. Winkler definitely trying to shoot up the inside now at Barry, side by side here. And you can see Mittag just fighting that dirty air, trying to tuck him behind. And Barry had some great speed, I think, on the early launch there. And you just see just a little bit of advantage there, but Winkler holding on that inside line as they come through this section. He'll be setting up well for the next one. But Barry able to stash as Winkler gets a little sideways.
Yeah, so lucky not to be hit around by Drake Mittag there, because Drake didn't really have anywhere to go. But Winkler is going to be able to hold it, and somehow Drake hasn't lost out to Luke Knupp, even though he had to check up and avoid the 7-2. Back in P6, there's Dennis Mickelson going a little bit wide, trying to get through on Josh Edmondson, who started P3, dropping back to P5 in the early stages. Championship leader coming into tonight, Drake Mittag looking for a move, not going to quite get it done. Then there's Luke Knupp fighting Josh Edmondson, frantic in the opening stages. Side by side into the final corner as well, 2 by 2 Noah's Ark formation as Luke Knupp tries to slip it up the inside. Again, not quite going to work out through there. And here comes Edmondson right on the back of both of them. Will he bump off? Will he help out Mittag? That certainly looks like it's going to be the case.
Yeah, I think Mittag, though, with a smart moves, he tries to follow, Edmondson follow Mittag through there. Knupp's going to try and take that line away. Leans on Mittag just a little bit. Edmonds goes real wide there. Here comes Swan trying to get up the inside there of Edmondson. Edmondson's going to tuck in there. Swan's going to get back just a little bit there. But you can see Mickelson's got a great run running up through there. But Edmondson's going to get by him, as Mittag does too. And for some reason, just a lot of speed, I think, got lost there. Something about that draft has paid off every time for these drivers.
Yeah, it has. Mickelson's going to be involved in this as well. Little bit of contact, lots of contact, nearly into the grass as they make their way towards the again. Mickelson to the inside, Edmondson to the outside, or it will be when they make their way into the carousel. Right across the grass goes Dennis Mickelson, but he will hold on to P5. Swan and Winiecki in behind, looking to try and get themselves involved in this. Wide from Edmondson, those grassy tides not allowing him the grip that he wanted through the carousel, and there's more contact on the exit. They are fighting each other hard for this position. It's only lap 2 of 10. But it's almost like a fist fight right now. They know that there's going to be a caution at the end of lap 4, which is going to bunch the field back up, so they're not too bothered if they fight hard now, as Luke Knupp nearly hit Sean Winkler around. So many nearly moments, but Winkler holding it together at the moment.
Yeah, Knupp was definitely turning that pressure up there. I was also watching Edmondson and Mickelson. It's like, Edmondson's a motocross racer, man. He knows how to throw an elbow, and you can see he was getting out there. You can see Swan split there, and I think was that with Nicky and Vanderveer I think when Nicky was the one that just kind of split out there and got into the clean air. And I think that did have an effect there. Swan now trying to go up there. See Mickelson, Edmondson slides right in front of Mickelson one more time and takes it away. Mickelson's going to get that draft with Swan behind him.
Will run their way then up towards turn 2 and 3 through the bus stop for the opening time the third time in this race. Moves in behind John Nobinger going for P17 on Ray Bedoyan. That's right in the background. You can see nearly 3 wide through there. We're having a look at the battle for P6 and 7. Swan, Winiecki side by side as that's Swan and Mickelson side by side as they work their way through just behind Josh Edmondson, and they bounce their way through the curbs, but it will be no change in position. Swan holds on to P7 for the time being. In behind, Austin Scheiber and TJ Staver finding out, and TJ has lost out to Matthew Lind as well. So moves going on in those positions for the teens, but it looks all nice and calm up at the front for the time being. Connor Barry has led, he's led pretty much every single second of the race he's driven in tonight.
Yeah, that young man definitely puts a lot of seat time in whatever he drives there, and it definitely shows. He's been practicing here at the Glen. I'm sure a lot of these drivers have been doing this because it's kind of not in all their wheelhouses. I know they've been driving a lot of different stuff. When you put a Pro 2 off-road racing truck that's used to flying through the air, sliding around corners, and put it on asphalt, you just took a whole new animal, and it's like the crypto creature there.
Yeah, it is, right? But so many moves and big moments. Whoa, in the background. That is not the right line, I don't believe, that Ray Bedoyan would want to take ever again. Lost out to John Nobinger and Tad Countryman as he, smacked into the wall, and he slipped all the way to the back of the field then. This is lap 4. When we cross the start-finish line, we will have our competitive caution. So if you want to make a move, you've got to do it now, and Sean Winkler knows the time is now, and he's going for the lead. Can't quite find the right line into the bus stop chicane, and Connor Barry continues to hold the advantage. Luke Knupp and Drake Mittag right behind them. Is there going to be a late send before we see everybody back off for lap number 5?
Yeah, it looks like every time Winkler goes in protection mode, you can see that Barry just pulls away just a little bit because the pressure from Luke Knupp and Drake Mittag is really getting on him. Mittag is trying to split around the opposite direction of Knupp, but you can see that Winkler is trying to hold on that spot, keeping that fast line. Knupp's going to tuck in. Here comes Mittag up the inside. A great move. And Mittag, and let's see if he can hold on to it in second place. Gets a little sideways contact with Winkler. Winkler answers right back. Oh, my Lanta.
Yeah, Mittag, is he going to be able to hold on from Luke Knupp? It's so close to the line. Just about, I do believe, and Drake should be able to hold P3 as we get into the competitive caution. On the right-hand side of your screen, you can see the live standings. They are the points that will be scored just from tonight. So Connor Barry on his way to pick up a full complement of 100 points this evening after winning race 1 and in position to win race number 2. And by virtue, he would take that championship lead. Sean Winkler would make a big step. Of course, he had 20 points gap between himself and Josh Edmondson coming into tonight for 4th and 5th in the championship. He, put a big dent in that if he's able to finish in P2 or even P1 in this race. And Drake Mittag is holding on to what would be P2 in the championship after what has been a difficult night for him, but still a good night, still a very effective point scoring evening. But we are under competitive caution. Barry, Winkler, Mittag, your top 3. It's only this slowdown lap. No one coming through the pit lane. We've seen that through in the opening couple of rounds, but we're going straight through, and it means that no one really gets a bit of a break. They have to keep their eyes focused, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's looking back there from Connor Barry's rear camera there. You can see Sean Winkler. You can see a little bit of that racecraft has been scrubbed off there. I think that's been a little bit of contacts going on there as he lets Connor know he's there each time. So if he can get up there, Connor's going to want to break away once again. This will be a nose-to-tail start, not side-by-side, as you say, not Noah Ark style.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not going to see necessarily as many two-wide moments as we saw off of the start because, of course, they're starting, as you said, nose to tail. Hopefully we don't see any of the moments and shenanigans that we saw at the back at the end of race 1's caution, but we will have to wait and see. A couple of corners left to go for Connor Barry before he gets this race back underway. But like I say, I mean, he led into turn 1 on race 1. He led into turn 1 on race 2, and he hasn't looked back really since. Yes, he had to battle with Sean Winkler into the bus stop chicane just a couple of laps ago, but he has looked supreme at the moment, and the onus is on Winkler in that 720 to make a move on Connor, because he has been able to sit out front and kind of control this race as he did in race number 1. Is it going to be a 100-point night for Barry, or can Sean Winkler upset, or can anybody else get themselves to the front of the field? We will wait and see. 5 laps to go here at the Glen. We're about to go green flag racing once again, and there we go. Good jump from Connor Barry, and Drake Mittag's on it as well. He's already up alongside Sean Winkler. Fantastic launch from the Jazz leader coming into tonight. He's already into P2 inside line. He's controlled that one beautifully, and Drake Mittag, opportunism at his finest. He's going to go after Connor Barry. That could be a battle that decides who's the Jazz leader coming at it tonight.
And you saw Mickelson make the move on Edmondson. Edmondson goes from P5 back to P6 at this point, as we saw Mittag move all the way to P2. Connor Barry trying to break away also on this one, but we're going to go a little bit deeper here. If we look back at Edmondson, behind him, Swanham and Winnicki also back there, a little gap back from Swan and Winnicki, but as our top drivers all go nose to tail, all drafting down this section here.
Yeah, and they are going to be very close. Oh, a bit wide from Drake Mittag. Too much speed into the bus stop chicane, and he's going to get grass all over those tyres. He's kept a nice line, though, through the carousel, which means that we didn't see Sean Winkler just about put his nose up the inside, but you can see a couple of tenths lost by the number 4 coming through that ever never-ending, really, right-hander. There is Sean Winkler. Again, product placement amazing behind him. But he is in P3, looking to try and put himself into the top 2. And he's got to be careful, though, because if he tries to make the move, we've seen it with Drake Mittag already this evening, you try and make the move at a dangerous point, and you don't quite make it stick. Luke Knupp and Dennis Mickelson are going to be on hand to come through themselves.
Yeah, but you can definitely see Knupp right now. He's got the rear of Winnicki, trying to dance around him here as he tries to get back to Winkler. He was sitting right on Winkler's rear bumper there, as I like to call it, the back porch, trying to trespass, trying to kick that back door down.
Yeah, and there's been many drivers almost inside Winkler's back porch, as you said, because he's had that many moments, hasn't he? We've seen him losing that rear end from contact at least 2 or 3 times, but he's kept it in a straight line, and it's what has got him through to the top 3, at least for the time being. Can he get back through? And Drake Mittag, is he going to push Drake into going for the lead of this race? Let's see. Well, neither of those things happened down at the bus stop this time by. Maybe into the final 3 laps we might see a little bit more urgency, because again, after the end of this race, forget about these positions. Don't worry about them. They're going to go onto the standings, but for the next race that they'll take part in next week, qualifying will decide the order. So it doesn't matter if they go for the move and it comes off slightly wrong, only in terms of that point standings. Drake still defending for the time being. Sean Winkler looking for the move. Nothing going on yet, and I think we're going to see some moves soon, but no one really too hard in pushing that needle right now.
I think everybody's on that groove right now. It's almost watching like a NASCAR race with trucks, or even a Robbie Gordon SST race without the jumps. These guys are all nose to tail trying to draft here, trying to get these speeds. You can see down this stretch here, across the stripe there, they're going to just go there. You can see the separation. Winkler is on Mittag right there, as you can see Mittag with a beautiful line. Winkler's going to change it up. Let's see if he's going to try to dive to the inside here for this right-hander. Just couldn't make it happen, couldn't find that speed.
Yeah, and you could just about see that Connor Barry had a little bit more of a slide than Drake Mittag, because you can see Drake starting to gain in that slipstream, and that draft effect is really helping him out here, and he is looking like he may even cycle to the lead in just a moment. Does he go for the move now? No, we'll stay behind. We'll bump Connor Barry towards the bus stop chicane, and Sean Winkler will close in as well. Luke Knupp involved in all of this, battling as well. Wide, though, from Dennis Mickelson in behind, and again, he has gone too far onto the grass. That could allow Josh Edmondson a bit of a run through the carousel.
Yeah, Edmondson, though, is going to tuck in right behind him. He thought that would have been a little bit of wiggle-waggle through the grass, but I think those General Tire knobbies are just digging through that grass right now. The grabbers.
Yeah, they're made for dirt racing, right? So you should be able to. You think that the grass shouldn't cause them too much pain.
Exactly.
But it is a lot rougher than the smooth tarmac that they are going to, either enjoy seeing the back of or miss seeing the back of when we get to the dirt racing again next week, depending on whether they're enjoying the smooth racing, because you're not really in these trucks to race around Watkins Glen, are you? But it is a nice change from what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, and gives the championship a real flavour of different styles of racing coming into the factory
yeah.
for the overall championship. 2 laps to go, though. Barry, Mittag, Winkler still the top 3. We're going to see a change in position. Mittag's been close, but he's not gone for the move yet. He's surely going to go for it at some point, right?
Yeah, Mittag has slipped back just a little bit there. You can see Winkler starting to get up on Knupp is tucked in right behind him. And Barry, just some really fast, smooth lines. This is the point where you want to get in tuck and you got to just establish and split out there. But, I mean, these lines that Barry have are perfect. You can't follow somebody and pass them. You got to make the move. But counters are so smooth, hitting every apex absolutely precisely where you're supposed to. His marks, he's hitting those braking lines just also to the T where you want to hit them.
Yeah, and I think for Drake as well. Oh, hello. Oh, there's a bit of a move there. Luke Knupp trying to go on the inside. Nearly pushed into the barrier there by Sean Winkler, but just about squeezed out and won't go for it in the end. I was going to say that Drake Mittag, he's looked for the move a couple of times, but, chosen against it down into the bus stop. Absolutely had the speed and the pace to be able to make the move past, but decided that he'd wait. Is that going to come back to bite him? Because is he going to get a chance on this final lap? White flag about to fly then, as we are right into the final minute and a half or so of our racing here this evening. It's been an absolutely stellar evening here in the iRacing Short Course Pro 2 National Series, but it all comes down to this. Conor Barry has the lead, Drake Mittag in P2, Winkler, Knupp, Mikkelsen, all nose to tail. 1 lap to decide the finishing positions. It surely can't stay nose to tail on this final tour.
No, they're going to have to start taking those dice and start to roll them a little bit, reach into your bag of tricks, pull out the deepest move that you can right now. Because if you're going to pass him, you're going to have to make a Hail Mary, as I like to say. But Barry's, like I said, his lines have been so perfect. I mean, there's about a truck length now between him and Mittag. Knupp, not so much. He's right on the back of Mittag. The back of Teal right now. Knupp has really turned the pressure up on him as Mittag's now trying to catch back up to Barry. The final lap, the white flag lap, the hallelujah lap before the checker drops.
Yeah, and Conor Barry has been sublime. I mean, to be able to control the race, even with a lot of pressure, Drake Mittag maybe deciding against the move in behind, he was able to keep calm and then put the pace in when it mattered. A little bit wide through the penultimate corner. Is there a chance? Oh, Winkler almost around through the penultimate corner. Luke Knupp may come through at the final turn. Conor Barry has controlled this race, though. He will come through for 2 wins in 2 tonight. Sean Winkler being pushed back in the order means that he's off for the podium. Mittag second. It will be Luke Knupp to finish on that third step. Disaster for Sean Winkler, or was it disaster for Sean Winkler? Yes, it was. The time tower really messing with my emotions there. But Luke Knupp finishes in P3, Mikkelsen, Edmondson, Swan, and then Winkler in P7. He'll be gutted, I'm sure, after what looked like a podium position for him. But Luke Knupp, final lap, gets himself onto the podium. Good drive from him, and Mikkelsen to P4. Let's see it again.
I can see Knupp trying to make the move right there on Teal. Teal definitely holding the line here as they come through. Knupp's going to try and split away. Tucks in behind him again. He's trying to show him, hey, I'm here. Did the pressure get to him? He looks up the inside. Oh! A little bit of contact there as they continue to beat and bang on each other. Mikkelsen definitely able to take advantage, as well as Edmondson shoots right up. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, who did Sean Winkler not have contact with there in the final couple of corners? He got hit. Luke Knupp there, hitting him up the rear. That's not pretty. And then just more contact for Winkler. He'll be gutted. On the right-hand side of your screen, very quickly, you can see those live standings. They're the points from tonight. Applied to the championship standings we had already would mean that Conor Barry will come out of this race as the championship leader and will hold a 3-point advantage over Drake Mittag. They've pulled away a little bit. Josh Edmondson will be third, but he will be a little bit further back. 10 points back it will be from Drake Mittag, and therefore, if my quick math serves me well, will be 13 points back from Conor Barry, who was our race winner again after our second race here this evening. A little bit closer, though, with Drake Mittag only a tenth and a half behind. After the contact in the final couple of corners that we've just seen, Luke Knupp finish third, with Dennis Mikkelsen and Josh Edmondson fourth and fifth. Bobby Swan just about edged out Sean Winkler by 24 thousandths of a second to finish in P6, with Cody Winiecki in P8. Cody van der Veer and Nicholas Thomas Dashley rounded out our top 10 and the top half of the order. With Zachary Trapkin, he had to make his way through the last chance qualifier to get into these feature races, but he finished P11 in the second. Tyson Miller, he was in P6 on the penultimate lap of race 1, but sadly dropped back at the end and dropped back even further in race 2 to finish P12. Austin Schreiber, no progress for him. Started P13, finished P13, but still some good points after himself coming through a last chance qualifier. Matthew Linden, Tad Countryman, 14th and 15th. Joey Herbie and Rick Huseman in 16th and 17th, with Ray Bejoin, TJ Staver and John Nobinger rounding out our 20 drivers. We are going to be able to get a chance to speak to our race winner once again, and that will be Connor Barry. 2 wins from 2. It's gone as bad as well as it could have tonight, right, Connor?
Oh yeah, it definitely was a good one out there. I got the lead out of turn 1 and just was smooth and smart, and we got the sweep done.
Talk us through the emotions towards the end of that race, because you had Drake Mittag right behind you, and it looked like he was almost not going for the move, waiting for a point closer towards the end of the race, but never got the chance because you had that extra pace. Did you really feel the pressure, or did you feel able to take your racing lines?
Yeah, I would say I knew that he was there. I would say the gap was starting to get shut, and I knew that he was probably going to attack on probably the final 2. So I was just trying to be smart and just trying my best to try and build that gap. And the gap, it did not get built. So I was definitely just trying to be smart and smooth there. The final few turns I had to go down so that I could assure that he could not get around me. But I was able to stay in first, and we got the sweep done, and we should now be first in the points as well. So it definitely was a good night.
Yeah, you will be first in the points, and a fantastic jump in that regard. Does that change the mindset going into the next 2 rounds, or are you happy, or is the focus still the same of getting that title in just a fortnight's time?
I'd say the mindset's probably the same. The gap is small, so I need to make sure I show up, and I show up fast. So I would say the mindset is still to go out there and win, and that mindset will not change until this whole season's done. So we're going to go into the 4th round with the goal to go in, and let's hope that we can get back on top and take this to Crandon.
Yeah, and good luck in Crandon, but well done, Connor. Congratulations, double win for you tonight, and yeah, good luck for the final couple of rounds.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Connor. Congratulations, Connor Barry there, our race winner here this evening. P2 in the end, pushed him close, was Drake Mittag, and Dave, he's going to join you now.
Drake Mittag, what an incredible race. You were the points leader coming into this one. And I mean, going from the dirt, you're known for racing in the dirt, and this asphalt, did it give you a little problems? Because it looked like you were doing really well.
For how qualifying went, I'm not too bummed. I had the speed coming into qualifying, couldn't lay it down. But honestly, it's not too bad of a night, to be only a few points away from the lead from some of the best in the industry is pretty cool. So bummed I'm losing the red plate, but at least I'm losing it to Connor, a semi teammate, and excited for the next round for sure.
Well, let's talk about the battle you had with Sean Winkler, Luke Knupp also. I mean, you guys are going toe-to-toe, swapping positions, but that big move all the way 4th up to 2nd place in the second half of the race.
Yeah, Sean was sleeping a little bit on the start, so as soon as the race went green, I got on it, and all of a sudden I realized Sean wasn't moving, so I hooked a hard right and got by him.
Now, the big question, and I think the elephant in the room at this point, is watching you drafting Connor coming down with a couple laps to go. Looks like you're almost going to step up, and it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to rethink this. Was like, all right, I want to take myself out, or was it just, just weren't feeling it?
To make a move on this track is deadly almost. Every single draft section, you're coming into a 90 left or the bus stop. So it's tough. I wanted to make the move. Every racer wants to make the move, but I just thought smarter of it. We have 2 more nights to go, 4 more rounds. So you can make it through this one. You can't win the championship right now, but you can definitely lose it. So just on to the next.
Well, the asphalt's behind you now. We're moving on to the dirt, to Crandon, a track you know well. Any thoughts? Are you going to have to readdress your brain back to the dirt?
I think it might be Wild West up next. If so,
Wild West. Sorry, yeah,
you're good. If so, I got a lot of work to do. Never been one of the strongest ones at that track, so going back from asphalt back to dirt and not being the best, one of the best at the track is going to be definitely a little tough. But I'm ready to put in the work, and hopefully we have a strong showing next round.
Well, we're looking forward to how it's going to play out for you. It's an incredible race, smart driving the night, and I know you probably got some people to thank that helped you put you in that driver's seat.
Yeah, for sure. Impact SimSport joined them this year, and so far we're doing pretty good with them, and that's exciting. And then Connor and Josh and everyone, we all put in a ton of effort. That first race, I'm pretty sure we had the top 4 locked out, if not pretty close to it. So on that setup. So thanks to all of them. They put in the effort for the setup, and thanks to Connor running. I think we got about 700, 800 laps on this track before this night. So definitely a lot of laps and a lot of work. Thanks to everybody.
Very nice. I noticed in the Mickey Thomas Motorsports on there, did you guys build one of his trucks?
Yeah, we built one of his trucks not too long ago. Worked for him this year.
Right on. He's a good guy, man. You're a good guy too, Drake, and congratulations again to you. Can't wait to see what you're going to do.
Thank you, guys.
Drake Mittag there. Great to get a word from him. And will be P2 in the championship going into next week and only a couple of points off. So good position for him to be in. P3 in that second race was Luke Knupp. Dramatic end to his race. Luke joins us now. Welcome in, Luke. Talk us through those last couple of laps. First of all, really frantic towards the end. Of course, that battle between you and Sean. You just about come away with the P3. How are you feeling after it?
Yeah, super happy with the result. Definitely turning the season around tonight. Hopefully the rest of the season can carry on with this momentum. But yeah, the second race was pretty fun. Both races were really fun. I love these trucks on the asphalt, especially road courses, and I think we put on a pretty good show for everyone. Hopefully everyone agrees watching. But Sean was just he was racing hard just like everyone else was, and I felt like I was getting my nose chopped quite a few times, and we're going for the same thing. Like, we're all racing for fun here, and trying to get podiums. And sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and people might disagree on the call, but I'm stoked with coming away with a P3 in that race, and P5 in race 1. Made some mistakes in both that I think limited me, but glad to show some good speed.
Yeah, and of course it's put you into that top 10 in the championship as well, as you said, making moves in a really good point in the season. Puts you in a good place to maybe push on a little bit more. Yes, you said that you enjoy these cars on the asphalt, and we're not going to be racing on the asphalt again. But is there anything you can draw from this evening to bring you back to that dirt racing in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, for sure. Learned a lot this past week, practicing and getting a feel for the Pro 2s. Finally able to run up front, so hopefully this can translate to the dirt a little bit better. First 2 starts this season have not been it, so I'm hoping to carry on to some good tracks coming up. And just got to give a huge shout out to APV Simulators. They backed me huge and helped put the series on as well, so huge thanks to them. Impact Race Gear, Team Gold Esports for all they do, and everyone else. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Luke. Congratulations in the end there, and good luck for the next couple of weeks. We'll see what you can do.
Thank you.
Luke Knupp there. We'll get a very quick word before we go from Sean Winkler after that last lap. Sean, welcome in.
Hey, guys.
I'm sure you'll be disappointed towards the end of that race. It looked like you had P3. Talk us through...
It did.
Well, the rest of the race first of all, very quickly. How did you find the pace in the first half?
I don't know. I've been running a lot of laps here this week, so it's really been good to run with Connor and Drake and Josh and the 199 guys and Racecraft guys and everybody, Impact SimSport. So everybody's fast, and so we just kind of learn off each other and we work together, and it's a really great group of guys to drive with. So we had good setups, good tunes, and it was just fun to hit the lines and kind of rip out here tonight. Yeah, I enjoyed it, except for that end.
Yeah, it's still decent points for your championship. I mean, and you're still involved in that leading battle. Still very much, I think, in the top 4 now in the championship.
All right.
Going into the final couple of rounds. Are they 2 tracks you're looking forward to and looking to maybe get a top 3 from?
I mean, I look forward to all the tracks, so I'm just going to kind of hit the reset button here after tonight and just kind of do the best we can and keep sending it, and look forward to the last 2 races of the year, work together, try to finish as high up as we can and do the best we can, all things considered. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a great season so far, and we're looking forward to finishing it off strong for Racecraft Academy. Yeah,
well, it sounds good, Sean. Congratulations on this evening overall. Yes, didn't quite know you did it too, but a good evening in terms of race all the same. Congrats, Sean. Speak to you maybe in a couple of weeks.
Sean. Yep. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, hopefully we see you next week.
Sean Winkler, great to get away from him, even after a bit of a moment. We were going to try and get a word from Josh Edmondson, because we have had word from Race Control that we may see Luke Knapp penalised for that incident on that final lap, but we're going to leave that in the hands of the stewards.
Above our pay grade.
We don't have to get involved, and then the drivers can't be angry at us. That's what I've learned after many years of this. But Josh Edmondson should have finished on the podium. We won't get a word from him because he's, I think, run off already, but he will finish P3, I believe, in that second race. That means we can start to wrap up. Dave, what an evening. It's been 1 round of asphalt racing, but it really has delivered before we go back to the dirt next week.
Yeah, I'm excited. Wild West Motorsports, one of the highest speed races we have, down that front straight down the hill over 100 miles an hour. And it is a 90-degree turn and a big leap into the abyss. So it's going to bring some good racing. And like Drake Matag, not everybody has the best of luck here. This is a challenging track for sure.
It's going to be an exciting one. 7 days' time here, same time, same place here on Racespot TV. My name's Darren Thacker. Delighted to have been joined by Dave Arnold this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've had Hugo Luis behind the cameras, making the broadcast look wonderful for us this evening. But this is where we'll leave you. In 7 days' time, we'll head to the Wild West, off of the asphalt, back onto the dirt again, with the championship picture heating up again. 2 rounds to go. You won't want to miss them. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.